Hey, folks, this is Dr. B from Steps to the Future, coming to you with a live that I haven't done in quite a while, one of my college and career conversations. So we'll get this started just as people come in. Look at the list at the little question at the bottom. Let me know where you're located, where are you from? We'd love to hear about who's joining us. Are you joining us from nearby? Are you joining us from another country? Are you joining us from the West Coast? Let us know. And also let us know, what are you grateful for today? My students know that we begin every session, every meeting with two questions. What are you grateful for today? And what do you do for self-care? So folks, go right ahead, throw it in the chat. Let me know what you're grateful for today. And also let us know where you're from. So we have, oh, thank you. We got Michelle Lavard with us from Concord, Massachusetts. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us. And Michelle, what are you grateful for today? Let us know. Other folks, as you come in, let us know where you're from, where you're located right now. And also, what are you grateful for? We have so much going on right now in our world. But I always like to remind my kids, there's always something every day to be grateful for. And speaking of being grateful, I am immensely grateful that I have our guest with us today. Our guest today is Chaz Berry, and Chaz is going to talk to us about wellness. Now, we know wellness is such an important part of our life. As I said, I always ask my kids, what are you doing for self-care? So I really love the idea of having someone with us today who is focused on health and fitness. Chaz has a master's degree in fitness and health, and his whole work is about helping people learn how to get fit in a short amount of time, because sometimes, we make those excuses, oh, I don't have enough time to go out here and exercise. So Chad is going to talk to us about that today. And Michelle is letting us know that she's grateful for friends and opportunities to learn. So Michelle, thank you so much for that. Let me just put this up here so people can see this. Thank you, Michelle. We'll definitely appreciate you joining in and being part of the conversation. So Chaz, I am going to ask you, what are you grateful for today?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I am grateful for a overwhelming sense of peace, in my mind, in my heart, in my life.
Okay, I love that. I love that. It's always wonderful to have that sense of peace.
Mhm.
So Chaz, as we get started, tell us a little bit about your story. So as I was telling you earlier, I work with high school kids, and high
Mhm.
school students always think that they have to be fully formed. They have to know who they want to be, who they are. And we're always saying, no, you've got time to do that. They feel that they have to be perfect in high school, that everything has to go just right. And we let them know we're human. That doesn't always happen. So tell us a
Mhm.
little bit about you. Who were you as a high school student?
Yeah. So as a high school student, I was a pretty decent student. I didn't necessarily like school. I just did it, because I was supposed to. I had to. I
Yes.
think that's a passion or something I learned to grow and develop over time. And there's definitely things that I would like to tell to my former self that would have made school much more enjoyable. But yeah, I was a decent student. Definitely didn't know what I wanted to do, career wise. I really didn't figure that out until my second year of college.
Okay. And where did you do your undergraduate work?
So I did actually a medley of different schools, but I ultimately finished my undergrad experience at North Carolina Central University. That's in
Okay.
Durham, North Carolina. So
Yes.
that's the HBCU.
Yes. So I'm going to put you on the spot here. Tell us a little bit about the medley, because, as I said, working with high school students, they really feel like they have to have it all figured out before they graduate from high school. And
Mhm.
we spend a lot of time letting them know that it's okay to change your mind, and that the path doesn't have to be linear, that, there are multiple ways to get to where you need to go. So
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about your journey to North Carolina Central.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So so started at a community college, actually, because again, did not really know what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
Didn't seem like it was a good move to start at a 4 year, university, in that, state. Again, I'm a first generation, college student.
Yes.
And so didn't have my parents just knew you going to college. That's it. That's about as far as that conversation went. Like, didn't necessarily know, how to help me through that, which is, okay. Like, my parents, there's no knock on them at all. But definitely, started where I was. And, it's funny, my second year of college, I ended up taking a nutrition class because that was always an interest of mine. And I heard about this field called exercise science for the first time, and I was like, oh, that piques my interest because I had started boxing. I used to box, that was basically like the center of my adolescence. And so that's kind of what got me interested in fitness, and performance. So that was always an interest of mine. And I was like, oh, you can make a career out of this? Like, that's pretty cool. And I'll just fast forward real quick. I'm just telling y'all, like, I love my job. Like, it has changed my life. It has transformed me as a person, transformed my life in so many ways, give me the opportunity to be a part of other people's transformation. So I just think it's so amazing how unplanned all that was, because I didn't start out my career in boxing, right, with the foreknowledge, right, that, oh yeah, I'm going to end up being a strength coach at George Washington University and loving my job and helping people get fit and all these things. Like, no clue. But I think what I would share with your students is, like, I'm telling you right now, listen, you're getting your experiences diversified when you're young. Listen, something about your passions there, don't be surprised if it ends up you turn it into a career. You can turn it into a career,
Right.
So don't dismiss and downplay your experiences, and your own your passions, your interests, because you may very well turn them into a career later on.
Yeah. I love that you started at a community college. One of the things that we talk to our students about, again, is that everyone's path looks different. And I know back in the day when I was in high school, before I started college, there was this stigma about going to a community college. It was somehow, it wasn't a real college. And I'm like, where did people ever get that idea from? Those classes are just as real as if you were at a 4-year college. So I love the fact that you started at a community college and then transitioned to a 4-year college. So tell me a little bit about your experience attending an HBCU, North Carolina Central, which is actually right down the street from me. And actually quite a few of our family members on my husband's side attended North Carolina Central.
Oh, wow. That's
Yes.
amazing. Oh, we need to talk about that more then. That's amazing. Yeah, but no, it was amazing. Yeah, I'd say one thing I noticed, immediately, when I was there, is I definitely noticed that just talking with first off, it was just amazing being a, Black male in this environment where just everybody is Black, right? Teachers, like everybody, right? And it, for the, just, I don't think a lot of youth, they're not used to having a lot of authority figures in their life, right? That are, people of color or even, Black, right? So that was also, an awesome experience. But something I noticed is, like, the administrators, the professors, very mission-minded. I definitely felt this passion, right? This interest in me, right? And wanting to, help me grow in my career. Not say that, I mean, I've had that, in my life as well, but there was definitely, I think being at an HBCU, there's definitely that, right? There's this mission of, hey, listen, we are building the future of tomorrow, right? But specifically, right, we are trying to, build up the Black community, right? And we want to see, right, more representation, right, from this community in America, right, so that they can go on to contribute, right, their talents to the country and the world,
Yeah. That is what I hear from so many people that attend HBCU. Sometimes I'm a little jealous because I'm like, oh, I there if I could go back in time and start over again, I probably would attend an HBCU. One of my young mentees here is actually on break, and she's at North Carolina Central. So we have conversations about her experience there. Probably every couple of weeks she checks in and we talk about how is it going and how does she feel being at a historically Black college and university. So here in Fayetteville, we also have an HBCU, but she didn't want to stay that close to home. She wanted to get out of town a little bit. So she's at North Carolina Central and doing pretty well. Just finished up her exams and stuff. So I'm really proud of her.
Yeah.
So what did you major in at North Carolina Central?
It was physical education and recreation.
Okay. And did you have a plan on what you were going to do with your major?
No. I I just didn't know. It's just amazing how, organically all these things unfold,
Yes.
but I didn't, what I knew is that I had to keep moving, that was it. Like, I just knew I
Yes.
had to keep moving. Cause unfortunately I had read enough, I had read books, like career books and
Hmm.
things like that. And, fortunately the people who, wrote those books was kind of like having a mentorship experience, and that was
Right.
great. Um, but, and then again, even the people that, actually what ended up kind of really being a launching pad for me was a internship experience that I had
Okay.
secured while as an undergrad. And that was also key, to helping me, launching my career too. But again, I didn't necessarily have a job lined up, it was just all just planting seeds, right? Planting seeds, planting seeds,
Right.
planting seeds. And then, one of those seeds, turned
T-
into me landing my full-time job.
Took hold. I love what you just said about an internship because
Mhm.
we talk to our students all the time about the importance of internships. Now they're listening to us. They're like, they haven't graduated from high school yet, and we're already talking about internships. But we also understand that those internships are those things that will help them get to the next spot, to get some of that experience. Because how do you know if you like doing something if you've never tried it?
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
like,
Oh, yeah.
I was a middle and high school teacher. So you
Mhm.
do student teaching. I know plenty of people who did student teaching and realize, oh yeah, I don't want to be a teacher.
Oh, yeah.
It is not for me.
Oh, yeah.
Only thing with by the time you get to do student teaching, you're just about finished with your degree. So you're kind of stuck a little bit there. You have to figure it out later on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And again, that internship experience, like, fortunately, that was one of the best internships I could have got in the country, for my
Okay.
field. Um, and yeah, it just confirmed to me that this is what I want to do. Like, I had a great experience. And yeah, just confirmed to me this is what I want to do. And again, yeah, path wasn't clear, but I was like, I know that it won't become any clearer if I just sit here,
That's
so
true.
you gotta keep on
That's true.
moving.
So
That's all.
what was your internship?
So the internship was at a company, formerly it was called Athletes Performance,
Mhm.
but they're a sport performance facility, and they're like a world premier sport performance facility. They trained a lot of the people who are um, uh, like round one draft picks right to the NFL. They
Okay.
play a key role in that, and a lot of the involved in a lot of the combine training. They're called Exos now.
Okay.
Yeah, incredible, internship experience, incredible mentorship that I got there from the professionals that were there. Um, and yeah, just, continue to stay in contact with those people. And but yeah, again, as you said, right, you don't know until you do it. And
Yes.
fortunately for me, that confirmed to me that I wanted to do it. And it just simply, lit a fire in me to keep pursuing.
So true. So for folks that are just joining us, we're here with Chaz Berry, who is a health and fitness coach at George Washington University in DC. So please make sure you join in, ask questions about the work that he does. We really want this to be an interactive conversation. So we need you to jump in there and let us know a little bit about what you want to know. So, Chaz, how did you go from graduating from North Carolina Central to George Washington? Was that a straight path?
It was not. Listen, I'm so glad you asked this question, and I really hope your students do, get to listen to this, because I want to say something here real quick. So, man, how did that happen? Yeah, so I graduated, right? And like many, or even at George Washington University, happens, as well on undergrads, about to graduate, don't have a job lined up, not sure what they want to do, et cetera. That was me. But listen, what I did was I had read some book about the unwritten rules of the highly effective job search. I read another book
Oh,
called Highly Effective Networking. And what became of that? What became of that is I got a contact list, okay, of a whole bunch of companies in this DMV area, because by that time I was living with my parents and they were here in this area. So
okay.
that is DC, Maryland, and Virginia, specifically in Arlington. And so I got a long list of companies in the area. Anything that sounded like it had anything to do whatsoever with what I was interested in, I just made a long
Hmm.
list, and I literally got polo on, got some slacks on, casual shoes. I bought a portfolio, like a nice looking neat portfolio. I got a cover letter going, a resume. And I literally, because I didn't have a car, so I literally went out on foot on the metro, just knocking on doors, and
Wow.
introducing myself to people, making phone calls and doing that. And something I learned in those books, okay, I need to say this, okay, is do not discriminate. People are people, okay?
People.
And
Yes.
people know people who know people, okay?
Yeah.
People know people who know people, and everybody's valuable. I mean, that's just a good way to live your life, period. Okay, you should treat
Right.
everybody right, like they're valuable and like they're worthy, as opposed to like trying to size them up. Where are they in the hierarchy?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good way of living, period. But it's also not good for your career. And I'll tell you like how that ended up, benefiting me. Right, one, just getting my mindset shifted around that. So I went past this building that was on this street, Thomas Jefferson Street over here. And I kid you not, Dr. Wilkinson, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, it doesn't look like a place that I would want to work though, right? Because visually it didn't look right
Right.
all together, okay? But I kept thinking back to what, the man's name is Orville Pearson. He's the author of the book. I kept thinking back to what he was saying. He was just like, no, listen, like this is a numbers game, okay? This is a numbers game, number one. And also everybody's valuable. Any conversation you have with a human being about your goals and your aspirations is valuable, right? And you treat that as valuable too. So I went in there and yeah, sure enough, again, the fitness facility didn't look like it was really all together. And the reason for that is because the gentleman just started his business, so he was kind of just like getting stuff together, so I'm talking with him and I almost go to leave, but then he stops me. He's going, hey, you're a young man, come back here. He's like, listen, it's like, I really like how you presented yourself, just now. It's like, you sound like you're on it. He's like, you're really passionate. He's like, I have a friend, George Washington University. He's like, he might need some, internship, help over there. He's like, he said, I'll put you in contact with him and you tell him everything you told me and then, see what comes of that. And so, showing up, that was, his name was Coach Paul, but he's actually at the cathedral now.
Okay.
So I had a meeting, with him, and that meeting turned into an internship, and that internship, turned into a paid internship, which turned into a graduate assistantship, that paid for my entire master's degree, and that graduate, master's degree, being able to graduate debt free, ended up positioning me to get a full-time job at that same university. And yeah, I tell you, it's that whole experience has changed my life. There's no other way to describe it. The community that I found at GW, loved every second of it. Just so I'm just glad I got that.
I love what you said about your hustle. You got out there and hustled. You did not for a job to come to you. You didn't sit there and say, woe is me. You did it the old-fashioned way that I don't know if today's kids would know how to do that, where you just go out and hit the pavement and just start networking. But that key word, networking, and what you said about you never know who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. That's how networking is. I teach a class at Providence College to people who are studying to become school counselors, and the class is career information. And one of the things they have to do is they have to create a LinkedIn profile. And some were a little reluctant at first. And they said, well, I'm not looking for a job. I said, no, you want to build relationships and network before you need a job. And this is one of the ways that you can do it. So they're like, oh, okay. And once they started using it more and just building relationships with people either in the school counseling field or people in education or people in the career coaching field, they said, oh, this is really different. It's not what I thought it was going to be. So you validating that by saying, get out there and just talk to people. And again, the way you presented yourself led to something that led to something that led to something.
Yep. It won't be perfect, and even my approach wasn't perfect, but I was moving. I wasn't sitting behind a desk, like sending out resumes, faceless, resumes and things like that, right? I was on my feet. And something that I would share, again, if anybody watching is like, listen, one, you just got to get yourself out there, right? Like the whole thing. The foundations of networking are, common interest, information exchange, and authentic conversation. And I think what makes it easier is when you truly have a mindset where you want to see other people win. Because if you want to see other people win, guess what? Like when you have these conversations, you're thinking about and looking for ways to put a hand in as opposed to looking for a hand out.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and people can feel that from you too, right? When people can see that, okay, this person isn't just trying to consume, take, right? Like I feel like they also there's a genuine interest, right, in other people. And wanting to see them win too. So again, like wanting to see other people win, as counterintuitive as that might sound, is good for you winning. it's good for your
Yes.
career. So, but hopefully that is true of you. And if not, well, then I think you need to sit down, get a mindset shift, and reevaluate as to why that might not be. But that's definitely the mindset you're going to need, if you want to be successful in networking.
Yeah. People, you need to write that down, a hand in instead of a hand out. That
Mhm.
is definitely something that I think more folks that are out there on the job search or just trying to build relationships and work in any kind of environment need to have that in mind. Thank
Mhm.
you, Jan Williams, for joining us. We definitely love that you are here. Jan put in the chat, good evening. So she missed the first 19 minutes, but that's okay, Jan. It's on replay. You can make sure that you can watch the replay. And Jan, if you get a chance, let us know where you're from. And also let us know, what are you grateful for today? We're asking everybody that question, like, where are you from and what are you grateful for today? Because we know how important gratitude is. So, Chad, tell me a little bit about your work at GW. Like, what is it that you do?
Yeah, so sport performance, the teams that I work with that I'm primarily responsible for, organizing and designing physical development programs for men's and women's soccer, softball, and then I assist with women's rowing.
Okay. Okay. So tell me what that looks like. What give us a is there any such thing as a typical day?
Yeah. Um, so typically, yeah, it depends. But let's say, I have a team at, 11 a.m.
Hmm.
That means I'm probably getting there around 10:30. I'm setting up the room, right? Getting prepared for the team. Really, and honestly, that depends on what we have planned for that day, because some
Okay.
setups are more intensive than others. But getting in early enough to be able to have appropriate time for setting up the room, getting acclimated, right? Getting settled, getting your mind ready. Um,
Hmm.
making sure that the athletes are going to have the nutrition supplies or uh, nutrition meals that they need. I say meals, but really it's like post workout shakes.
Okay.
Make sure the equipment's available, space is ready, things are safe. Then the athletes come in. They come in from maybe their practices. They get warmed up, and then I coach them. And we spend about an hour. Just teaching them through proper movement patterns, teaching them how to give proper effort, intensity, and then we wrap it up. And then we have multiple of those sessions throughout the day.
Okay. So that sounds really interesting. You know what I like about the work that you do? Many times I'll have students who want to get into something sports related,
Mhm.
and they know they may not be the one that's going to be the athlete.
Mhm.
So helping them find careers that are still in the athletic field, but where you're not necessarily the athlete. So I love it that you're in a field where you're still doing that work with athletics
Mhm.
in a different, but it's in a different way. So I really love that idea of being able to do that.
Oh yeah, no, I say I love it. I mean, I laugh every day. It's just amazing. I love being a part of growth. I love being a part of watching people grow.
Yeah.
And especially in my context, working with that demographic of 18 to 22,
Mm,
like fun being a part of the development in multiple ways, right? Emotionally, mentally,
right.
physically. Because really all of it comes together. Because life happens. You're dealing with people. And
Hmm.
so life is going to happen, and even throughout the course of a strength and conditioning session, and a strength and conditioning experience, a sport performance, development experience, but it's
Right.
just been great and awesome being able to be a part of that development, laugh and play and have fun, but, also, just be able to, again, be there for people, beyond the field as well.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that's interesting when you're working with young people, whether it's K through 12, whether it's, at the post secondary level. When we're working with young people, you're working with the whole person. You
Mhm.
can't just say to
Mhm.
someone, okay, just go take care of this workout and what have you. If they're having a bad day or if something
Mhm.
is going on
Yeah.
in their lives,
Mhm.
somewhere in there, you have to figure out, how do I listen to them? How do I help
Mhm.
them?
Mhm.
And I'm sure that happens to you quite often.
Oh yeah. What I tell you. So something that my job has helped me for in the business that I'm building is learning how to meet people where they are. And
Mm.
a principle that I follow is it's about making sure the experience matches the person, not the other way around.
Okay.
Getting the experience to match the person, not the other way around. Meeting people where they are. Like if you really are about, developing people, like that's what you're gonna do, right? It's not gonna be some
Right.
game of like, all right, listen, this is what it is, and then it's how you make it or you don't, right? Like you're trying to meet them where they are, customize the experience, because you want them to win. You want them to succeed, and at the end of the
Precisely.
day, that's what's going to result in success, right? Is when you meet people where they are and you bring them to where they need to be step by step and
I
at a
love
pace.
that.
Yeah,
I
at a pace.
love that. Yes. And Jan, thank you so much. Jan's letting us know that she's from Washington, D.C. originally, but she's living in New York now. And she said she's grateful for a healthy life, family, friends, and her baby boy.
That's
Yes. Thank
awesome.
you, Jan, so much for joining us. I always appreciate when you can tune in. So one of the things you talked about was building your business. So tell us a
Mhm.
little bit about that.
Right. So my company is Trained with Chaz. It's a health and fitness company.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just helping people to get leaner, get healthier, and rebuild their confidence and energy. With the time that they have.
So how does someone get in touch with you, Chaz, if they wanted to?
Yeah, if someone wanted to get in touch with me, they could definitely go on my Facebook page. So chaz.c.berr. So it's just missing the Y of my last name.
Okay.
But yeah, they just for anyone watching this live here, if they want to make it easy on them, just put the word fit. So FIT. You can hit me with fit in the DMs, and that just let me know that you're ready to talk, and then I'll reach out to you,
Okay.
and we can set something up.
Okay, and here's your contact information.
Mhm.
So tell me about so when did you start your company? When did you start your
5 years ago.
5 years ago? So
Mhm.
so how did you get started? Did you just have like one client or several clients? Do you have a workout space? How does it work?
Yeah. So, hey, following that principle, Dr. Wilkerson, of like, listen, stop thinking, no paralysis by analysis, get moving.
Yes.
Because nothing happens. A car, if it's parked, it's not going anywhere. Just start moving, and then you'll navigate. Later. Hopefully, you have a license though, right? um, yeah. But yeah, no. So I started my company, right? I had no clients. Again, I just I put it out there, and then eventually over the years, right, organically, right, filling it in,
Mhm.
and then it just continued to grow. And again, like I can't necessarily tell you, exactly like, hey, this I knew this was gonna happen, and then I knew that was gonna happen, and like, no, I didn't know any of that was gonna happen. I just knew that I needed to start moving and doing something,
Yes.
and then things kind of like unfolded.
Yeah. That is so good. That is so good. So do you have a brick and mortar place, or do you meet people at different gyms? How does it work?
Yes, actually a few different things. I do not have a studio. I try to, I don't want that overhead.
Mm,
But I do have a studio that I use, and I also travel to people's homes as well.
okay. So you make it really convenient for people to do
Oh
that.
yeah, very flexible. Like that's really, but that is about that's a major. If someone would ask me like, hey, what distinguishes me from other companies, or what do I want to be known for? It's
Hmm.
flexibility, and again, meeting people where they are, which literally could mean at your home.
Okay.
So like physically. So not only meeting you where you are, as far as understanding your own psychology and preferences and physical development, but I could also meet you at your home too. So
Okay. I love that whole idea of the flexibility and meeting people where they are. I
mhm.
started an exercise program. uh, Maybe it's been a little over 2 years now, where I started um, working out with the trainer, with the strength trainer, because I really like doing that, but I missed doing it when I moved, when I relocated from Rhode Island to North
Mhm.
Carolina,
Mhm.
and I knew that I needed someone to guide me so that I didn't hurt myself
Mhm.
and that I
Mhm.
did it right. So I've
Yeah.
been with my trainer, Samantha,
Mhm.
for a little over 2 years now, and I'm telling
That's
you, it's
beautiful.
it's the best investment I made in myself
That's
is
awesome.
is is
Yeah.
going to her, because people will say, "Oh, well, how much does that cost?" I said, it costs. I said, what I pay is so worth it, because I know that at my age, I'm still flexible, I'm still mobile. I'm not, I've got some aches and pains going on here, but they're good aches and pains. So I
Yeah.
really love the idea of doing that. So
Mhm.
Chaz, tell us a little bit about your book, because I know I've read your book, I bought your book and I've read it, and I really like um, when you talked about it doesn't have to be all out a full hour. So I like how you gave people the opportunity to work out without taking up, because a lot of people will say, I don't have enough time. So
Mhm.
you took that excuse away from them. So tell us a little bit
Mhm.
about your book.
Yeah. So really, what I hope to people walk away with, right, when they read that book is a mindset shift. It's a mindset shift that lets them know that even if they're busy, okay, even if you're busy, you can get the results that you want with an experience you will enjoy, right? So that's really what it comes down to. Um, so I'll finish with that and let you ask me anything else.
Okay. So for folks who want to know, you see the title there, and this is Chaz's book, and it is available. So again, I read through and I'm reading it, and I'm like saying to myself, okay, because one of the things I've got to do better with, I mean, I'm doing pretty good with my exercise, but I've got to do better with my nutrition.
Mhm.
I like sweets too much, and I don't know how to do it in moderation. So I'm
Yeah.
working on that.
Mhm.
So one of the things that you said in here was you have short programs set up for people. So if
Mhm.
they wanted to look at your book and figure out, okay, if I only have 10 minutes a day, this is what I could do. So if you were having people do maybe if they only had 10 minutes and
Mhm.
they needed to start building up some strength, what would you have them do?
Yeah, really. So that's difficult to answer a little bit because it
Okay.
might be context specific. But it would definitely be body weight movements, right? Just finding
Okay.
body weight movements that fit for them. And that's what I encourage people to first look to. It doesn't necessarily need to be equipment, especially when you're just starting. For this book,
Okay.
I tell you right now, this book is for the person that is overwhelmed and not sure where to start, right? But they know that they have to start. You know, um,
Yes.
yeah. And so it's about getting started because what you're doing is you're building a foothold, right, in your life, right? It's almost
Yes.
like, and that habit is going to become like a gateway, right? A gateway to you investing in it even more down the future. But with this here, you start with body weight movements. Don't worry about equipment. And then you're doing more like a hit style workout, right? So just
Yes.
accumulating maybe 30, 40 seconds, of high intensity work at a time, followed up by dialing it down, doing a
Yeah.
lighter, less impactful activity, and continue to ramp it up. But because it's short, right? Because it's short, right? It's sustainable.
Yes.
So that's how it's organized.
Okay, I love that. I love the short exercises, because I know in between my sessions with Samantha that I need to be doing other things. I mean, I do walk just about every day,
That's
but I
awesome.
really like the strength training. I really like that. And but one of the things that you said that I think is crucial for people to understand is you don't have to have all the equipment. There's so much you can do with your
Mhm.
own body weight.
Yep, especially when you're starting.
Yes.
Um, and again, there's so much to say about that, but you can you get stronger using body weight? Absolutely. It just
Yes.
depends on how you're setting yourself up. you know
Yes.
um but yeah, I'll just land on that.
Yeah, it's funny because I was telling Samantha, I said, "Oh, I've got to get better at what I do in between my sessions with you." And
Mhm.
she said to me, "So are you doing your 10 push-ups every morning like I tell you to do?" And I'm like, some mornings I'm doing it." And she's like, "Are you doing your lunges? Are you doing your dynamic stretches?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, you got me. You got me. There are things that I can do without a lot of equipment, but I like equipment. I love kettlebells. Um, she's got me doing some of everything that at one point I'm like, oh, this is too much.
Uh,
But again, when I leave out of there, I know that I've invested in myself, that I've
mm,
invested in my health. And I think that's what I hope people come away with. Um,
mm,
not just, the athletes that you work with, because that's part of being an athlete on a team
mm,
in any school, but
mm.
just for people, just for their everyday life,
Well, yeah.
just to keep moving. I see so many of my older relatives who stopped moving
Mm,
after they retired or before they
mm.
retired,
Oh,
and now
yeah.
they can't move,
Hmm.
and I don't want to be in that position. I want to be moving as long as I can move.
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, there's definitely a underappreciation for the health and the healing, okay, that you can get from moving this body regularly, consistently.
Yeah.
And it's not even just again health. That's something else that I want people to know. True health is deep health. And so it goes beyond fitness as well, right? We're talking about fitness. We're talking about nutrition. We're talking about how you sleep. We're talking about stress management. We're talking about the relationships in your life, right? Your emotional health, all those things. But the truth is that all of those things can be improved just by even starting with exercise and nutrition.
Hmm.
Right? Your mental health can be improved through your exercise and nutrition. Your sleep
Yes.
can be improved through your exercise and nutrition. So they're all it's funny, they all overlap, they're all connected, they're all
Yes.
related.
Yeah.
And you can start in one area and it improve all the other
And
areas,
the
right? So it's
others,
like
yeah.
I can't say it's a bi-directional relationship because there's a lot more than just two. But the relationship is complex, but they're all interconnected.
That's true. So Janice said she needs to do a lot better with her nutrition. I know, Jan, I'm right there with you. I'm telling you, those sweet things really call to me too often, so I have to work on that
Yeah.
terribly.
Yeah, but you know something though? This is what I want to say, because in my book I also talk about the no diet, right?
Mm,
And with that, I'm looking for a mindset shift, for people to look at eating through a lens of freedom as opposed to a lens of restriction, you know. Um, and when I say no diet, what I mean is discouraging people, or encouraging people to spend less time looking at food and saying, oh, that's against my diet, right? Or that's not in my diet. Like, no,
okay.
everything can be in your diet. All kind of foods can be in your diet. All macronutrients can be in your diet. The issue is the principles that you're following, right? So imbalanced intake of those foods, oh no, that cannot be a part of your diet. Yes, that should be
Okay.
against your diet, right? So imbalanced intake of certain kinds of foods and imbalanced intake of certain kind of nutrients, macronutrients, yes, that should be against your diet. But hey, listen, we can afford to have indulgent moments, and still be
Okay.
healthy. Purity and perfection is not a prerequisite for healing and health. It's just not.
Okay.
We never attained it anyway. Like nobody, even people who do attain health and healing, weren't perfect and didn't have purity right prior to or realizing and achieving that. So when it comes to the sweets, like yes, okay, it's not so much that you ate the sweets. I'm not saying that you were saying this, but it's not so much that you ate it, but maybe it was an imbalanced intake of it,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
because it may be that you can have it, but you just can't have it every day. You might not even be
Yes.
able to have it every week, right? But you should be able to have it, at some time.
Okay.
So that's what I was trying to get at with the no diet. Just looking at
Yeah.
eating through a lens of freedom, but definitely thinking of things more like, hey, how can I have a balanced approach to the way that I eat so I can have what I want, but in a more planned
Balance.
way. Yeah,
Okay.
balanced.
So that means when I want to eat, when I have 2 pints of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, chunky monkey ice cream over the weekend, that's not a good thing. That's not
Yeah, 2
balanced.
pints. Yeah, that is not balanced.
That
And
is not
it's
balanced.
yeah, and here's the thing. This is the other thing too. Balance. Is context specific. It looks different. From person to person, and that's something that can be determined on a case by case basis.
Yes.
For the most part, though, usually everybody can eat everything unless they have special dietary considerations. But all I'm saying is there's a lot more freedom. There should be a lot more freedom in the way that you eat. But
Okay.
again, you just need to find balance in what that looks like for you in your life.
Yeah, that's true. And Michelle added that, being able to sustain this is so key. And Michelle, you know me, I I like my sweets. I really have to work on those.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, yes, it's being sustainable. It's being able to
Mm-hmm.
sustain. And I think when we put those parameters on us that are so stringent, that makes it
Mm-hmm.
so hard, then that's what makes people fail.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yep.
set themselves up for failure.
Yeah, yeah. That's why you gotta have things that are fair substitutes. I'll just give you a quick example. One of my clients talk about again snacking is his issue. So I found some alternative snacks, and I'm just gonna tell you
Okay.
like this is really good. I mean, they're not watching right now; they're not promoting them. But there's this company out there called Lesser Evil, and it's a popcorn. It's cooked in coconut oil, but
Okay.
really good tasting. So as opposed to like other kind of oils, but really good tasting. Popcorn, a much healthier option than almost anything that you would have out there, and also a much better option. That's another sometimes too. Just hey, just making a better option what you're making right now, right? That's still a step in the right direction. And so for him, that was a major step in the right direction compared to the other snacks that he was eating. And he's like, yeah, no, I feel so much better now because I feel like I got this thing that I can munch on. It's also
Mm-hmm.
rewarding, right? Tastes good. Because it's not true. It's not true that I'll tell you this: if you are not motivated by the things that you're eating and you find it like a grudge, something needs to change. You need to take a look at that nutrition plan again because you will not last very
Yes.
long, on it. It's going to require way too much willpower, and you only have so much of that, in you. So you got to
Yes.
try to make it match your preferences and your taste as much as possible.
So what advice would you give to a young person who wanted to go into your field?
Yeah, what I would tell them is they definitely need to get a lot of internship experience.
Okay.
I did basically 4 internships because what I know I talked to you about my one internship, but I was
Mhm.
very busy at that time of my life, Dr. Lewis, and I was doing multiple things. Um, and yeah, because that was critical and key for not necessarily knowing that this is what I wanted to do, but for the
Mhm.
relationships, right? The
Yes.
networking, the community, building that is invaluable because you are a walking, talking resume on those
Mm.
everything you say, your character, and I
Yes.
tell you, people would much rather give a job to someone who they've spent hours and hours, okay, with than someone who they had to, do some really quick crash hour
Yes.
interview, right?
Mhm.
Trying to figure out who you are now because there's we don't even get married that way. Like, like because we know there's a lot more to a person than whatever they present themselves as an hour. But anyway, so they would much rather do that. Or listen, even if it's not working with them, people that they know, right? At
Right.
least they'll be able to say, hey, no, listen, so and so spent like 500 hours with me at my facility, a couple years ago, upstanding person. They were on
Yeah.
time, right? They had really good work ethic, passionate, interested, you know.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
so true. That is so, so true. So, folks that are listening, if you have any questions, please, yes, Jan, please share this out because we want people, if they can't be here live, we definitely want them to see it on the replay because it is so important that we take care of our health and our nutrition. Health and wellness, I mean, you can't buy your health.
Absolutely.
You cannot buy your health. So the more energy and time that you put into it with whatever works for your schedule, the better it's going to be for you. I know for me, um, also, so I started working out with the trainer doing the strength training, but I also joined this adventure group where we actually go hiking. And I wasn't really a hiker, but being able to do this and because I'm with a group of people and we're all doing it together and it's not always the same people every time we go somewhere because it all depends on everybody's work schedule. It actually allows me to push myself a little bit more than I probably would have if I had to do it myself. Because,
Mm.
so easy to make excuses like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not going to go. But knowing that these other people are going to
Mhm.
be there. I mean,
Mhm.
we did a walk. If we don't go hiking, we do a 4 mile walk on our local trail, which is absolutely beautiful,
Mhm.
which a lot of people in this city don't even know this trail exists, which is
Mm,
kind of crazy because it's gorgeous to walk on. Um, so again, just being able to get in that mindset about how important it is when we look at the obesity level in the United
mm,
States. I mean, that's kind of scary. It's
mm.
kind of
Yeah.
scary, and I mean, I don't want to be um, depending on fad diets or what have you. I want to be flexible and mobile and able to walk up and down stairs and
Mm,
do all those things.
Yeah.
So what are you hoping for your company?
Yeah, I just want to help as many people as I can. I'm starting here, in the Arlington. I live in Arlington, Virginia right now, Pentagon City specifically.
Okay.
And I want to help as many people as I can, and even beyond. Because I have a hybrid program that allows me to
Okay.
do that, work with people in person and online, and it could either be a blend of both or it can be entirely online. But yeah, that's my hope. My hope is to work with as many people as possible and help show them that busyness is not and doesn't have to be a barrier
Right.
to your ability to pursue optimal health and wellness.
That is so true. I know for me, what I found, if I don't do it first thing in the morning, it's not going to happen
Mm-hmm.
because
And
once
you
my
just
day
said for you.
starts, yes, once
Yeah.
my day starts,
Mhm.
that's it. I mean, I'll say, "Oh, I'll go walk at 1 or I'll walk, here when I have a break."
Mhm.
And I don't. So I tend to, well, not now because it's dark out, but as soon as it's light out, that's what I'm going to walk. But if I'm going to my trainer, I always try to have either the 6 a.m. appointment or the 7 a.m.
Mhm.
appointment. Get
Mhm.
it done, get it out the way.
Yeah.
Um, but I know I've already paid myself before the day's begun.
Mhm.
That's an investment in myself.
Yeah, that's an example of you coaching yourself, though, and that's really
Yes.
the ultimate. That's really the ultimate thing. That's the teacher's job. The teacher's job is to teach you how to teach yourself. And
Yeah.
me as a coach, like my job is to coach people and empower them to begin taking independence or begin taking control and responsibility over their health and fitness. Now, so they can be dependent on me. Now, they might choose to use me, right, for continued accountability and maybe community, and maybe they like the
Mhm.
experience that I create for them, right? But it shouldn't be that you need, right? It should, like, listen, something like your health and fitness, again, it's something that's so critical and essential to your life. You shouldn't be dependent, right, on anybody else.
Yes.
You might choose them as an option, right? But you
Yes.
definitely should feel empowered, right, to be able to, like, oh no, I know I can do a workout on my own.
Right.
You should be able to, and also be able to problem solve on your own as well. Like the experience should help you do things like that.
That is so true. That is so true. I know I am better than I was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
but I also know that Samantha, has helped me understand some of the things that I need to do, and it's just shown me this is what you can do at home.
Mhm,
You already know how to do these, whether you
mhm,
have the weights or not. This is what you can do.
mhm.
Um, so she's been so instrumental in keeping me healthy. So I
That's
just want
awesome.
people out there to understand, you can do this, and a lot of times, I know for me, it's helpful that I have somebody guiding me.
Mhm,
That's essential for me to keep it going because
mhm.
I could, decide, I don't know if I want to do it, get up one day and say, yeah, I don't feel like going to that gym. But I know I've made an investment and
Yeah,
I know I'm going to go. Folks, as you're joining in, please let us know where you're from. Let us know what you're grateful for today. We're here with Chaz Berry, who is health and fitness instructor at George Washington University. So he works with several of their sports teams and helping them with their fitness and with their nutrition. Oh, so somebody is saying that they found you on Instagram. Okay, so they're following you. So that's Michelle. Michelle is one of those people who will find people on social media, who will find
mhm.
whatever. So thank you so much, Michelle, for that. So, folks, if you want to follow Chaz on Instagram, you can
Thank you,
do that
Michelle.
also.
Well, I'll tell you, my Instagram is under renovation right now. It's getting
Okay.
something else.
All
So my
right.
Facebook page is my primary, platform right now. But Instagram definitely, coming soon.
Okay. So Tracy is here with us, and she's saying definitely making an investment in ourselves is so important. And
Yeah.
Saran is letting us know that she is grateful for family, friends, and most of all for Jesus. Hey, Saran, thank you so much for joining in. Definitely appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. And for those of you that are just coming in and don't have Chaz's information, this is his Facebook page. So make sure you find that, bookmark it, so you can check it out, so you can see what it is that you're missing in your life. Because I know some of my friends out there, I know you're trying to gear up and get better at your exercise and with your nutrition. So here's an opportunity for you to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So Chaz, any last thing that you'd like to say to folks? Any last advice you'd like to give folks about getting fit?
Yeah, as far as advice for getting fit, yeah, it's just about you know trying to find an experience that is suitable for you.
Mm.
And that means understanding your context, understanding yourself. Just kind of like the example that you just gave. So I think some people do have this notion that they need to work out in the morning, like, and that's the best time of day. Like, no, that's like, there's no science, for that. So if that
Yes.
works for Dr. Wilkinson, cool. That's great for her. But if you can only do it in the evening, guess what? That's great for you too. So
Yes.
just again, be much more flexible and open minded with the things that can work for you. Like it's not as narrow as you might have been led to believe. There's many all roads lead to Rome.
Yes.
All roads lead to Rome, and they all have their unique turns and twists and what have you. And some vehicles are good for this roads, and other vehicles are better for the other ones. So that's one thing I would say. And then as far as in maybe inspiring, motivating people, to even begin, pursuing, the fitness. Listen, there's no single thing you could do on this planet that will do more to add life to your years, okay, and health to those years as well, right? Than investing in your health and fitness, right? So you want to add life, years to, should I say, I said life to your years to your
Years
life,
to your life.
years to your life, yeah. Add years to your life, right? And life to your years. There you go. That rang a little bit better. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all.
it did.
But yeah, life to your years. I almost said it again. Years to your life,
Your
right?
life.
And life to your years. Then investing in your health and fitness. So it really is that important. And again, so that's ridiculous, for us to allow. And I have a 1.2. I have my own story with that. I didn't get to share that here. But don't let busyness, be an excuse, because you will regret that. You will regret that. And unfortunately, by then it might be too late. But so while you're breathing and while you're here now, move today.
Get it done. Yes.
Yeah,
and Helena said she's grateful for you giving your time to share your knowledge. Helena is one of Helena's a Zumba instructor, so she is very active in addition to being a full-time science teacher.
Okay, thank you.
So she does, and she's good. She's good with her exercise. I thank everyone for joining, and what I'd love to do for those of you that have joined in, I would love for you to put in the chat. I am going to give away a copy of Chaz's book, and the way you do this in the chat, put in #fitness. So put your names in so we can see who's showing up. So you're going to put #fitness. And we'll wait for you to get started. Come on, folks. Let's get the book so you can, if you haven't started already, this will get you jump started on your path to fitness and healthy nutrition. So I'm waiting. #fitness into the chat. Let's go. I feel like I'm a middle school teacher again, where I'm telling my 7th graders, come on now, hear the instructions, get the work in.
That's so funny, because that tone, that tone.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It definitely gets in there. So #fitness. Let's see if we can get a couple more people in there so we can make sure that someone gets this book. All right. So I'm going to give you 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, gonna draw a name here. And it's slowing down. It's slowing down. Hey, Jan Williams,
All right.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes, Jan, I will reach out to you so I can get information on where to send this to you so that we can make sure that you have a copy of the book. So, congratulations, Jan. Appreciate you being here. And I appreciate Tracy, Michelle, Helena for also joining in. This was fantastic. Saran, thank you for joining in and being part of the conversation. Chaz, I am so glad that my son introduced me to you. This has been a really, really informative conversation, and I wish you the best of luck with your business. I wish you continued success in the work that you're doing at George Washington and getting those young folks into shape so they can continue being the best that they can be. So thank you so much. We're getting some thank yous
Thank
from
you.
people in the audience saying thank you. So again, we
Thank
really
you, Doc.
appreciate you being here. And folks, I appreciate all of you being here because you could have been anywhere else. You could have been doing something else, but you chose to spend some time with us this evening. Please make sure you take time to share this out with people. It is available on my business Facebook page, Steps to the Future LLC. And it is also on my YouTube channel. And for those of you who aren't familiar with my YouTube channel, let me make sure you can go right on there and you can subscribe to the YouTube channel and you can watch Chaz and get this great advice as many times as you want. You can just put it on repeat. And you can also see the other great people that are there giving you information on different aspects. So, again, subscribe to the channel, like the channel. Definitely would love to have you do that. Jan is letting us know, Chaz, that she appreciates the conversation. Jan, we appreciate you. So thank you folks so much for being here. I'm hoping to get back up with my conversations at least once a month. I took a little hiatus for a while here, but Chaz is getting me back in the saddle again, getting this started up. So folks,
Absolutely.
thank you so much. And please stay tuned on my Facebook page and look for the next college and career conversation. So all of you take care and I will be seeing you soon. Chaz, you
Thank you,
just
Dr.
hold on.
Davidson. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Jan, my YouTube channel. Let me put that up there again to make sure this is the link to it. You can just look for Steps to the Future LLC, and you will see my YouTube channel there, and you will find all kinds of folks. Good night, Helena. Thank you so much again for joining us, and I will see you folks. Take care.